I think we just need to address the elephant in the room because
I'm still black.
For our audience watching, there might be a slight confusion.
That's the what, sorry?
Where we are.
Where are we?
We're in the crib.
This is true.
We're in the crib. As you can see, we're in a new location, which happens to be in my summer house at the back of my crib. This is my home from home, and it's now yours too. So welcome, people.
Thank you.
The question is, why did we rebrand the podcast? Why should you rebrand yours? And when should you do it? I think it's time for me to explain and tell a story. In 2017, with a good friend of mine, Wezzy, who used to manage my music career, we embarked on starting our own podcast. We were massive fans of the concept. And at the time, Brilliant Idiots, Taxstone, those individuals Combat Jack were like the go-to pods.
Was Joe out then? Yeah.
Joe was not quite.
Okay, all right.
If he wasn't bubbling.
And it was, I'll name this podcast later.
Yeah, maybe then.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Which was out on digital platforms, and I enjoyed it just as audio podcasting, and I just thought it would be something good to do. We reached out to a digital radio station called Radar Radio. I don't know if you remember that. No. We did a pilot there. We had no fucking clue how to present a podcast.
Right.
But it was a vision that we had, and we set up on that journey. We failed to get a slot on the station, and so we decided to find a podcast studio to record our own shows. We came up with the name Fast Food Podcast as food is a metaphor for information, and we thought that was fly.
Yeah.
So we ended up in the studio in Ladbroke Grove, added trim and maintain to the roster, and kept it moving. Big shout out to Savage Dan, who gave us the space to work from, and we basically self-taught ourselves on the concept itself. Now, here's where Drizzy comes in. Do you remember the episode you actually graced us with your presence?
Nah, I do remember there was a shift in the universe when I came on the pod, for sure. You know.
So modest.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, sorry, just a quick sidebar. Someone said to me the other day, like, you're too calm and humble. I was like, what do you mean? You're too calm and humble. Like,
That's
you've
nice.
done things, but you don't ever highlight them. Or I know I'm the worst at taking compliments, but you don't highlight things you've done previously. And I'm like, well, if you ask me, I'll tell you. If you don't ask me, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to get in that groove, but I'm going to go back to how I was. Thank you.
I think it's good for you to be humble, and I think that we'll definitely address certain things that you've been through. And
so let me ask me the question again, please.
When did you join the Fast Food Podcast?
I don't remember, but I was humbly and gratefully appreciative of being invited to,
to the establishment.
Yes.
It was season 2, episode 1, and the episode was called Serial Cry Wolfer.
Oh.
So you was pretty much there from the beginning when you check it, like.
But who was the reason for that title in the pod, though?
Serial Cry Wolfer.
I feel like it was something to do with Eminem, where someone was just beefing with him and they was just trying to like poke the bear for him to do something. I feel something along the lines, but carry on, sir. You're telling a great story.
Which is quite fitting.
Yeah.
Anyway, slowly but surely you made your mark on the pod and you became a permanent host. So we started as an audio-only platform and quickly moved to visuals on YouTube and recorded 6 seasons under that name. Joe, our cameraman, joined us in season 4, and we just elevated to another level at that point in time. Shout out to Trebler. And who else was the young gentleman that used to do our camera work?
Let's not forget, man, like the one who started the whole camera. Shout out to the camera work. So shout out to man like Show.
Talk to him.
Yeah, shout out to King Show. My doggy. Big up yourself. But yeah, he initially, I believe he's the first one to actually get us on camera.
Right.
In the studio filming. And then
that's right.
He had other arrangements, which meant he couldn't roll. Mm-hmm. But he's still an avid fan of the pod.
We love him, man. We love him.
So shout out to Show.
Shout to Show.
And and then we moved on to
Trebs. Shout out to Trebs.
And COVID hit. We needed a cameraman because we had a bigger vision for ourselves than what we was doing.
Definitely.
And then the universe. Now I'm going to flex like before. The universe. There was a shift in the universe.
See it there.
And then we got blessed with the services of a man like King Jojo.
King Joe, who pretty much came through, recorded one episode, and was like, "Bro, like, yo, brother,
Yeah.
yo, is your services?"
Yeah.
And he's been with us ever since. We recorded 18 episodes last season and interviewed an array of special guests. And we had last season the most successful season we've ever had with the podcast. So why did we rebrand the podcast? During the break from our final episode in 2023, we did a wrap-up show. And Keisha, while helping us plan the new season, she hit me with an uncomfortable conversation and basically told me I needed to rebrand the show. A new name, which would represent the brand. Drizzy, you also mentioned it to me a while back before that as well. And my wife, she was quick to remind me that she was on the rebranding from time. And I don't know what it was. I don't know, maybe if it was like the unknown fast food podcast was my baby.
It was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
And
You're just too attached to it.
I was too attached to it.
But the name didn't. The name doesn't.
We'll talk.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, I had to think about it for a minute, and my initial thought was, as we said, the unknown. And it just made sense when I came round to the idea. It made sense, and Drizzy and I coped really well last season.
Yeah.
We did really well with the episodes and putting everything out. And I think I'm going through my own personal rebranding at this moment in time, which I will elaborate in later episodes. So when you hear, as you said, the word fast food, unless you are a day one supporter, it's easy just to think that the content is about fast food or possibly it's a cooking podcast, yada, yada, which it is not. So now we are intentionally looking to build our business and build a wider audience. I think we needed to identify an identity that reflects.
Yeah, plus we got tired of having to explain to people.
Yeah.
What does the title mean?
100%. 100%.
You a cook?
Yeah.
I can survive, but I'm not really a chef like that.
Yeah.
But it just got tiring of just having to explain. Yeah, so it's the title is
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was studying the whole laws of brands and naming things, and I feel like if the name of your content needs to tell a story, or it needs to
Shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to explain.
Your brand and everything should just be self-explanatory.
Yeah, that's right.
You shouldn't have to even go into like the story and
100%.
the history.
Right, unless someone goes, so how did you guys get to where you...
Yeah.
Then you explain.
Yeah.
More.
And it can evoke an emotion.
Yeah.
And it's a name that represents who you are. Yeah. And I think that was fitting to call the show Drizzy and Morgan.
It's a bit on the nose then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get a name that's fitting for the show.
Yeah.
Well, just use our name. But hey, it just makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. And we went round the houses for a hot minute.
Yeah, we was, yeah.
I think that's why we've taken so long to come back to back here.
Well,
am I gassing?
It's just that.
Wow.
But,
I tend to disagree.
We wanted the show to represent our business and and also illustrate a service that we offer. We are still the same Donnies, catching the same banter. That's not going to change. No. But we know that we want to be of service to our audience and give our real experiences of who we are as men in our 40s to help and assist. And we also, we're our own individuals. We're on our own journey. And I feel like we need to reflect that. And we need to, let our audience know that we are.
I'm not. So I know you're thinking, why are you?
I know
gritting teeth, but no, it's not because of you. It's just something's happened, and I look straight to Joe, and Joe's trying his hardest to show the emotion. It's still seeping out. He's trying to keep his best poker face, but like his mannerisms, like he wants to just get up and shout. But it's cool. Sorry, carry on.
Because you know what it is, Drizzy. You alluded to it earlier. It's like when you said so who said that you're very humble?
I don't want to name them, throw them on the bus, but yeah.
But it's a good trait to have. But at the same time, I feel like now you can let people know what you've been through, what your experiences is, because it will also indicate that you've been on a journey, and people that have can reflect and relate to those journeys. Do you see what I'm saying? So like, don't be afraid to to express yourself in that way. I'm here, 100%. I've known you for a very long time, and I respect who you are as an individual. So that's the most important thing. The question is, why should you rebrand your content? I mean, when you think of the word rebranding, initially what comes to mind is logos, a change in setting, which is to a certain extent, but there's much more to it. I mean, if you're an artist or a content creator, you always want to build a stronger brand. You always want to build a stronger relationship with your audience and the consumer. It could be a restructure in your content, implementing new elements to your service.
It doesn't necessarily have to relate to your brand.
Not necessarily.
As in like a product you have out there, because your brand, first and foremost, is you.
Is you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
So you can rebrand you as many times as you want.
Yep.
But don't just think that rebranding just relates
thing.
to a product or you having to be creating something. It could just be yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's sometimes that gets lost in the sauce.
Absolutely.
What it is, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, what comes to mind, is remember the whole Bud Light situation where they had to actually moonwalk when they did that campaign that flopped.
Where they was trying to
do too
cater
much
to everyone, but specifically a certain group of people. And then you realize those aren't the people that are putting money in your pockets. And then they realize we got to double back because, I remember what you said earlier about not mentioning that sequence of letters. So yeah, cool. Let's skate past that.
When should you rebrand? I mean, don't do it solely based on the fact that you feel like your content is not good enough. It's especially if you're just starting out, you need to figure it out naturally. I mean, if you think about where we came from, where we started with our pod, it was a natural transition because we were just winging it for the best part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't feel like it was super intentional. We enjoyed podcasting. We enjoyed the camaraderie, the conversations that we had. And I felt like that was more important. So when we're talking to our audience now, I feel like you lot should just embrace what you're trying to do. Start it. Whatever content creation you're trying to make, just do it, and you will figure it out along the way. Consistency is important. You know what I mean? Which is a big part of our journey. And you know what? You've got to give people time to realize what your brand is, who you are, what the messages you're delivering. It could take years, and as you said, we started in 2017. You know, and it's just something that you should always put your mind to and see where it takes you. And I feel like you should just turn on your iPhone if you're interested and if you've got interests and you feel like you want to present them to an audience, just turn on your iPhone. There's things you can buy. You can buy like little lights,
little tripod.
Yeah.
Don't forget to film yourself in landscape, people.
100%.
Otherwise, you know what I mean. I'm giving you a little tidbit there. Do it in landscape mode, yeah. So that way you can go on any kind of platforms. You know what I mean? You don't have to rescale it, and all that.
Yeah, and also your target could change. Your target audience can change. It's something that you need to do is analyze as well. Check your analytics.
Yeah.
If you've got a YouTube channel, look at your YouTube channel, see what's working, what's not working, and understand what your who your demographic is. You know, check the data. Having Keisha also was a great situation to have a female voice on the show as well. We had few female guests in and out in previous podcast shows. Or episodes, but you know, having someone permanently here definitely is going to bring a different element.
Some of them will be back.
Yeah.
some of them will definitely be. Shout out to Queen Reams. She'll
Shout out to
definitely,
Queen Reams.
You know, another an unofficial member of the team.
Yeah.
You know, done lives with us and stuff like that. So shout out to Reams. So yeah, Reams would definitely pass through at some point in the season.
And I hope this helps you guys understand why we moved in this direction. And just continue to pass through, show support, show love. We're going to be here in this summer house chilling on a fortnightly basis. We've got a lot of plans ahead. And yeah, man, just enjoy.
It's the Trizzy and Morgan show.
Yeah, should be love.